we have a series where we are breaking down Taylor Swift songs, and today we are breaking down Out of the Woods, and we will also be breaking down Is It Over Now, but just in a different video.
Yes, because those two are definitely written about the same relationship.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that I saw was that Taylor said when she was writing the 1989 album was that she wanted the sound of the songs to reflect the emotions behind them. So for Out of the Woods, this song is very much an anxious song. Mm-hmm. It's very much Taylor is like questioning what's going on in this relationship. This relationship is very fragile. And she just seems like frantic. Mm-hmm. Verse 1.
So looking at it now, it all seems so simple. We were lying on your couch. I remember you took a Polaroid of us, then discovered the rest of the world was black and white, and we were in screaming color.
All right. So the screaming color thing just kind of makes me think of like the intensity of their relationship, and also just like being stars, and everything was more vivid to them. Mm-hmm. Whether it be because they're famous or just because of their relationship.
Yeah. And I mean, Polaroids are a really big part of the 1989 era. Mm-hmm. All of the little clues that Easter eggs she would give us leading up to it were on Polaroids with like a lyric on it. I think in the original 1989 there was like in the like where all the lyrics are was full of Polaroids. So that was very much her thing at the time. Mm-hmm. Was the Polaroids. I don't know, this whole relationship seems, it seemed very interesting to me. Mm-hmm. Because I was a very big Harry Styles fan, big One Direction fan, so the whole thing with this whole album, it's one of my favorite albums, and it's very interesting to me with how it all ended up playing out. Yeah. And the information that we got from the vault tracks, because I think we've mentioned it before that like 1989 is very much a like sad that it ended, but it was a good time, like wasn't that like heartbroken like we had with Red,
right?
And then we got the vault tracks, and it kind of seemed like, well, maybe she was a little bit more hurt than she had let on at the beginning.
Yeah it definitely was clarified some things for us, because but even just, I mean, the track 5s, like, in this album...
all you had to do was stay.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's still vulnerable, but it's not like Dear John, and it's not like All Too Well.
And The Archer, and these other, You're on Your Own Kid, these other ones that we have that are, like, they cut deep.
Yeah.
It was just being like, you just didn't have to leave. Like,
yeah.
All you had to do was stay.
Literally all you had to do was stay. The bar was low.
Yeah. I forgot the last part of it, is that I remember thinking is the very last line. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it leads into that chorus where, you know, she's wondering, like, are they ever going to get past where they are?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear yet? 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 Good. And then it just like keeps
repeating. Yeah. So, I mean, right there, she's just showing that anxiety building up. And I feel like her have to like constantly be questioning it. Mm-hmm. Like, are we out of this like delicate, for lack of a better term, like spark part of the relationship? Right. Where is it too soon to be doing all this stuff? Like, are we out of that part yet? Mm-hmm. You know, are we in the clear? It is very much, you know, like she pointed out, like the feeling that she felt in that.
Yeah. Like they could break up at any moment. Like she just really had no idea where this relationship was going. She didn't feel secure in this relationship.
Well, and I feel like the media had a lot to do with it as well. I think everyone was very much obsessed with it. He was at the height of One Direction. She was at the height of, you know, Red, and just kind of dabbling into that pop era. Mm-hmm. with like, we were never getting back together and I knew you were trouble. I Know Places, where she talks about like trying to get away, and we're the foxes and they're the hunters, and I feel like the media and the paparazzi was constantly like whenever they were trying to do something, they were always being followed by it. And so I feel like there wasn't and at that point she hadn't gotten good at like hiding herself. I feel like now that she is better at that, you know, like she'll go out in a squirrel costume, go Halloween, and like nobody will know it's her until the next day that she posts a photo that she's in squirrel costume and that kind of stuff. So I feel like she's better now at that, but at the time, like they weren't, you know, they wanted to go out, and who doesn't want to go out in a relationship and be out, but with their magnitude of popularity at the time, it made it really hard.
They all have this like almost third person in the relationship, and it's the rest of the world.
Yes.
Just like kind of acting as this like third person. I'm sure that like, and then, you know, like you see with a lot of celebrities, all of the tabloids like saying, oh, they've broken up, they've done this, like, and like, I don't know, just like adding into that anxiety, I'm sure. Because can you imagine seeing all this like false stuff about your relationship and constantly, and people talk about it, like that's just no thank you.
Yeah, and sources say, and you're like, well, who are these sources? Like, are we just making this up, or do we have legit people in my life that are like going to the tabloids and selling stories of me? So, and then verse 2, looking at it now, last December, we were built to fall apart, then fall back together. We were on again, off again. Oh, your necklace hanging from my neck. The night we couldn't quite forget. When we decided to move the furniture so we could dance. Baby, like we stood a chance. Two paper airplanes flying, and I remember.
And Taylor wore Harry's paper airplane necklace.
Yeah, so that was a huge part. It's also in the Out of the Woods music video, which I think that really like shows, like she's running from the wolves in that music video. It's showing the anxiety and how, you know, it's changing. She's like in the forest, and then it's snowing, and then she's on the edge of this cliff, and like it's like this like whiplash almost that she's getting from the relationship, whether it be from Harry himself or just from the media of like the stories that are coming out about them.
Yeah, and I think the music video like gives like the viewer anxiety watching it.
Yeah.
You know, like she does a really good job at showing how she was feeling at the time, because I watch it, I'm like,
yeah. Yeah. And so, and they're on again, off again. So there was a time when they broke up, which is kind of, some people think that I Knew Your Trouble was about Harry from like the first time that they were together, and then they broke up, and then they got back together, and then that's where 1989 came in. And I don't know, this is another moment where we kind of get a little snapshot into like one specific moment where they're moving the furniture so they can dance. And then she's, referencing the two paper airplanes of how that was his necklace that she was wearing.
The bridge.
The bridge.
All right, remember when you hit the brakes too soon? 20 stitches in the hospital room. When you started crying, baby, I did too. But when the sun came up, I was looking at you. Remember when we couldn't take the heat? I walked out, I said, I'm setting you free. But the monsters turned out to be just trees. When the sun came up, you were looking at me. And then she says, you were looking at me a few times and Out of the Woods.
You're looking at me.
Yep. Yeah, and then, again, it's in Are We in the Clear Yet? Are We in the Clear Yet? Good. Oh, I remember.
I mean, and it's interesting, too, because she says that I remember at the beginning of Question. So, right at that beginning, like, was from Out of the Woods. So, because Question is one of those songs where I'm not really sure what she's talking about, who she's talking about. Is she talking from her own perspective? Because I've seen people talk about it's from Justin and Selena's perspective. Yeah. So I've seen that a lot. But then the I remember is very similar to this. So are we talking about Harry in the time? Heck, are we talking about Maddie Healy? Because now there's just so many things that I'm like, well, is this about Maddie now?
Yeah, because it was like 10 years, right? So, I mean, how many songs really are about him that we just have no idea about?
No idea, yeah. So that's an interesting part too. But I've seen a meme where it is literally 20 Lilo and Stitches in a hospital room, and it's so funny. I'm like, it's so niche, like only like Swifties would get that specific thing. But yeah, this is one of those bridges where it gives us so much information about what's going on, and one specific moment too.
Yeah, the snowmobile accident.
Yeah.
And so she's not really hiding who she's talking about in this song.
No.
She's got the paper airplane necklace. She's got the snowmobile accident.
In 1989, she hasn't at all. I mean, she has a song called Style. We're never going out of style. And then she says, like, Take Me Home in it, which was one of One Direction's albums called Take Me Home. So there's a lot of music where she's like, I'm not saying who this is about, while also saying who this is about.
Hello.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like that is one specific line that I just absolutely love, when the monsters turned out to be just trees, because I feel like that happens a lot in relationships. And specifically my husband, this is one of his favorite songs, but because of that line too, because, you know, he said to me a long time ago that he was happy that the monsters turned out to be trees, because there are things that scare you in relationships that you want to walk away from, and then you realize that it wasn't a monster this whole time, it was just dark out, and those were the trees. I think that's such a beautiful, like, imagery she puts in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, her, like, wanting to walk away from it, and him being like, well, I don't want this to end. And then him maybe walking away from it, and her being like, I don't want this to end. And that back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I think when the monsters turn out to be just trees too is also, like, symbolic of anxiety, you know. Mm-hmm. With anxiety, I personally have anxiety. You can take things that are small and just, like, make them so much bigger than they actually are, and they seem so much scarier than they actually are. And she's very, like we've said, very clearly anxious in this song. So.
Yeah.